welcome back, everybody, to Brown Sugar Confessions here on YouTube, Power 1017, and the Great Wide Web. Don't forget, you can always like and subscribe to us here on YouTube. You can go to our Facebook uh, page, you can go to our Instagram, you can go to Doc Val's TikTok. And if you know Doc Val, she's out doing, everything in the world and saving the couples, the alternative couples, and this and all the other good things. But you can always reach out to her at Valerie at swancentered.com. That is Valerie with at bleh. That is Valerie at swan with two N's center.com. And you can always reach out to us at brownsugarconfessions at gmail.com. So let's go ahead and get into to introducing everybody. KD, how you feeling today?
I have a headache.
Oh no, that's
I
not good.
do. I don't know why, but I have a cup of coffee here, and this should be enough to get rid of my headache here.
First of all, I love this cup that you have, and I know for the people who are in Radio Land, I just need you to know it says I don't need Google. My wife knows everything, and if you know anything about KD, this is very, very true. She does know everything, and if whatever she doesn't know, she will find out in 15 minutes or less. It's a little scary.
Typically. I hate when I get stumped. It happens. I am willing. See, one of the things about this big age I am now, because I didn't used to be willing to admit when I can't find some information, when I don't know information. And there was a time in my life where even if I didn't know it, I might have faked it until I made it. But now I will look it up. And if I can't find it, I'll say, I'm so sorry, but I can't find this information. But I am doing very well otherwise. Hopefully, this headache could be gone soon. I don't know. Judging by some of the things I see on the horizon, we're talking today, this headache might get worse.
I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like this is going to get what we're about to talk about is going to get your blood rushing enough that that headache is going to kick its way out. But you know what I've learned as I've been growing up is if I don't know the answer, I'm just going to call KD. And my life has been as good as it can be ever since.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Tracy, what's good?
I am cold
Oh no.
and tired and hungry. Uh, but other than that, it's going really, really well, I guess. I mean, I'm passing all my classes, so
Hey.
got that. I got my nails did. Um,
Hey.
other than that, it's life, is what I'm going to tell you. It's life. I'm in dire need of a break and some sunshine.
That I totally
Sunshine,
feel you. And I
yes.
will say, thankfully for us below the Mason Dixon, the sun is finally coming out. But that also means that the pollinating is on its way. And it's
Oh,
on its way
no.
bad. The junipers, the oak trees, they have already started uh letting stuff out very lightly. I've been on my allergy medication since Valentine's Day.
What?
Since
That's
Valentine's Day.
3 weeks early. That's like
Yeah.
3 or 4 weeks early, right?
Yeah, the golfer groundhog whatever it is, they said that spring was coming early,
We're
at least for
not
us.
gonna beat up. You're not beating up Phil the groundhog, are we?
Listen,
Look, we
he's coming
are.
for
We
us.
are.
He's coming for us early, and apparently Georgia has his own groundhog. I forget what it's called, but we have our own groundhog, and I forget what he says, but I usually go with the famous one, the national groundhog. That's Poxitani Phil or whatever his name is.
Puxatawny Phil. That's right.
Yeah, I go with the national groundhog. So that one said that spring is coming early. I'm looking outside. It's clear, and I'm just gonna roll with it and just stay on my medication until summer.
Cheese.
Well, quick question. Have you guys seen any of the furry caterpillars outside?
Not
Any
yet.
who's? Fair.
Oh,
Furry
what?
caterpillar.
You never
I
seen the
don't think
furry
I
caterpillars?
typically no, not out in
Even
these
them little black
parts.
jokers that have like the super long hairs coming out of them,
No, no,
red
no.
red
These
faces.
are no, these are little bitty caterpillars, probably about this big. They have a little bit of hair on them, but they're either red and black or black and red. And you can tell how long the winter is going to be by how long their middle stripe is going to be, or how short it's going to be by how their middle stripe is going to be.
It's
That's
probably
how I
too
learned
much
how to tell.
smog. That's probably too much smog here for them caterpillars. They ain't messing around here.
Huh.
That's the only reason why I know. Like I was like, it's not going to be a hard winter for us. Last year was a hard winter for us,
Yeah.
but this year, the snow we've gotten has usually like it'll last for a little while and then melt. It's gone right now. It's gone. All that ice we got last night, gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Well,
That's pretty cool.
we've been getting all the snow, so they've been sending it our way. So you guys got it a little bit lighter. You're welcome.
Yeah, we haven't
Thanks. I
gotten anything,
appreciate
and I
that.
appreciate y'all holding that cold winter air. It's just been windy here, but if it's starting to get windy, that means the thunderstorms are coming. So just gotta brace yourself. But speaking of
Wait,
bracing ourselves, what's happening?
what?
What's happening,
I
Tracy?
forgot. I do get a break.
You
I
do?
get to go to I get to go to Philly and be with KD and Tommy King
Hey!
and Doc Val and do some dancing. And this time, I promise not to be on edibles. This time, I promise to learn the choreography.
Oh my goodness.
Ian. Well,
This time,
y'all,
I promise not to pass out in the hallway. I promise we're
oh,
gonna do
yeah,
this.
I totally forgot about that.
Oh my god. Hmm.
Oh,
So
well,
yeah,
well,
break is coming. I'm excited now.
We are looking forward. We are looking forward. We cannot wait to have you back.
yes. Yes, I am here for it. And speaking of, so while you, Katie, brace for Tracy coming back to Philly, I got to get y'all braced and ready for this topic that we about to talk about. So, if you haven't heard about it by now or you haven't watched it, there on the glorious entertainment center we known as TikTok has presented us with one heck of a story. And if you were some of the brave people, myself included, that watched all 50-ish parts of this series plus the aftermath, you know what we're about to talk about. We are talking about Risa Tisa and her experience surviving from the point that they met until the point of the divorce, which happened in what, the span of like a year or less. Her ex-husband, known as Legion. We're not going to say his actual name. He has been exposed. So we're just going to keep it as Legion. Legion being the ex-husband. So if you have not listened to or have not heard about this, there's a woman on TikTok. Her account name is Risa Tisa, and she is describing this, how she met this man called Legion, and how she found out through marrying him that not only is he's a pathological liar, he's also a narcissist, and that he almost put her in debt, like
Mm.
serious debt. So, have you either of you heard about it?
Yes.
I heard about it. So I've read a Cliff Notes version of it. I did not go back and listen to even one of the videos, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh goodness, I watched the entire thing. I killed it in literally a day. Uh, I put it on the speed talk thing. I'm like, thank God TikTok has a speed talk thing, because I was like, I am invested. I need to know how this ends. So I just binged the entire thing.
Did you see how long? Did you count? Somebody actually calculated how many hours and minutes it was to watch the whole, just that one playlist, not her lives that she did, just the one.
Oh, I didn't even
It
think of
was,
lives.
yeah, it was 7 hours, almost 500 minutes of content
I
that
believe that.
people watched.
That's a lot
I
of
believe that
talking.
because I
Like, how
think
do
I
you even
tried.
talk that long?
because she was going
She
like
did it in
back to back to
parts.
back to back to back to back to back, and
Right,
then
but
she
I
would like stop
mean,
and be like, "Okay, I'm taking a break." Come back to back to back to back to back to back to back. Like, I want to say she started what, on the 13th?
Yeah, it was before Valentine's Day. And she would do a couple, some of them were just like 10-minute segments, and some
Mhm.
of them, I think a few of them were 45 minutes. Once she got up to a certain amount of followers, she was able to extend the amount of time
Mhm.
she was able to talk. Only a couple were 45 minutes. The rest, I think, were like 10 minutes. And the way my ADHD was set up,
Bruh.
I like fast forward couldn't even do it. But I think what my Virgo appreciated is that she took accountability for
Mhm.
everything. Um, she was very thorough. And then she took steps in between all the parts. Like there was, I think, 3 or 4 breakdowns where
Yeah.
she would go back and do clarifying statements.
She'd
I
be like,
liked
if you're
that.
just jumping in, here's what we talked about thus far.
Yeah, I really appreciated that. Some people, if you go to the comments, a lot of people complained and said she was long winded and this and that. And I find those excuses invalid. She's telling her story, and she has to be as thorough as she needs to be to tell her story. And if you think it was long winded, then you go through something traumatic and try to tell it to the internet
That
and not have them beat you up at every turn, so you learn to be thorough.
I
You
will
learn.
appreciate the fact that she was like, I recognize that I did not obey the red flags. I did not uh stay true to myself, because she was like, especially when they started living together and she ended up getting pregnant by him before they got married, and she was like, this is not who
Well,
I am, but I feel like this is where I'm supposed to be because of her conditioning, that of all of these things that happened, and she just stayed with it. And part of me was like, I
Miss T,
wonder
Miss
if
T,
there's a
Miss
lot of
T.
uh-huh.
I'm
Let's
going to
get into
ask you
it.
to do a favor. Yes,
What's up?
because you're kind of giving opinions and not everyone has heard or read the story yet. So let's back up a little bit
Okay.
and let's give the listeners some details so they know what the heck we're talking about, because I actually don't know all the details. So I'm ready.
Okay, so we need so you want the Cliff Notes version first.
Let's do the Cliff Notes version so people can follow along.
Okay. So this started what, previously before COVID, right? So,
Two weeks before COVID.
two
Two
weeks before
weeks.
COVID is when this starts. She meets this guy on Facebook dating, the Facebook dating site, and I think she said Hinge. First of all, y'all just stop internet dating. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. Just go with a dating agency, pay, let them figure it out for you. Don't try to figure it out on your own, because that's when the crazy show up. So she meets him on 2 sites, and he has 2 different names on these sites. Red flag number
First
one.
flag.
Mm.
So they meet, and he's doing like the gentlemanly thing, because of course this is an Atlanta love story, even though neither of them are from Atlanta. I think she is, but he's not. He was from Philly. So she's driving to meet him at the Cheesecake Factory. So all of y'all with opinions about the Cheesecake Factory, just go ahead and throw them out. So she goes to meet him, blows a tire. He comes to get her. I think they ended up hanging out, vibing, this, that, whatever. Then the shutdown happens. And now they're trying to figure out, are they going to be in the shutdown together or not? He's living in a hotel, not a hotel, a studio apartment. She's in a townhome. So he's staying with her.
That's a red flag in and of itself, but
I feel like we should
Let's
all,
count red flags. Katie,
yes,
let's count red flags.
grab something red. Everybody grab something red, and then whenever there's a red flag, you're going to wave that flag. So I'm waving my flag already.
hold on. I gotta
Let's
get
make a
mine. I
game
don't
out
have
of
a
it. Find
red.
something red. You got one
I don't
minute.
have a red flag, but I do have my.
Yes, there you go. There we go. Red flag, red fan, red flag, red pin. Let's go. All right. Uh, so now they're quarantining together. This is what he tells her that he does for a living. He is an ex arena football player. He's a regional manager of some company. I can't even remember what it is anymore. Um, he has an offshore bank account. He has some other couple of bank accounts too. And the offshore bank account is where all his arena football money is.
Mm.
So he's saying he's
I mean,
got
I have a
money.
question.
Uh-huh.
If you are an arena football player, don't get me wrong, because I don't watch arena football playing, but I would think it would be very easy to do a quick search to find who's played in the leagues. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Pretty early on. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Like that should be an easy, quick Google search, and you should be able to match a face to the name. And but anyways, continue.
Yes. So he's telling her all this while they're living together. Um, he is paying the bills. He's paying the the house or townhome bill and something else. So all she has to do is worry about her own stuff. So she's like, okay, well, he has money, he's willing to help provide since we're in this situation. All right, fine and dandy. So I think she's like in Clayton County. If you know anything about Atlanta metro area, you
Mm-hmm.
know where Clayton County
Mm-hmm.
is. You know what kind of situation Clayco is. Um, so she's living there. I think he was living somewhere in Decatur. So now it's to the point where, of course, you got a boo, y'all quarantine, ain't nothing open but legs. So now it's quarantine, ain't nothing open but legs at this point. So now
Mm-hmm.
she's pregnant. So now she's
Mm-hmm.
pregnant. She is not married to this man. They are shacking up for however long COVID was or lockdown was here in Georgia. I don't even remember anymore. I think it was like 4-ish, 5 months, something like that. So now she's like, okay, well, we're in this situation. One, I do not want to be uh pregnant before. Well, she didn't want to be pregnant before she got married, but now they're in this situation. So she was like, I do not want to have a baby in Clayton County. So we need to find a house. All right. So they go through all of these searches to find this house. They find one, and the people were like, we will we agreed to the whatever it is for the house, but we want to see proof of funds. He's like, agree to it and then I'll give proof of funds. So there's this
It's not
whole
how this
stand
works.
yeah, there's this whole standoff about it. So of course they don't get that house. Um, I think
Wait,
that
tell them how many houses they looked at before this
I can't
house.
even remember. I just know it was a lot.
They looked
25
at
25.
houses.
25 houses.
Yeah.
First off, I'm not looking at that many houses.
And
And
this
this is
is
during
How
COVID.
during
during
COVID.
COVID?
And they were supposed to have a realtor who is helping them with this. And at this point, the realtor was calling her, asking her question because Legion is saying that, yeah, I put the money down. We should have this house at this time, or let's go check out furniture, da 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 da. And the realtor is calling like, hey, I haven't received this, da da da. So she's like, talk to Legion. And then he's for one house, he was talking about, yeah, we got it. We should be able to move in like uh 3 days, something like that. And she's excited and everything. So something told her to go on, the realtor website to check it out, and it says that it was sold. But Legion ain't told her nothing about it. So she goes, does some backwards research, finds out that it got sold to another couple. He had never put an offer down on the house.
Not
So
even an offer.
not
Mm,
even an offer, but was swearing up
mm.
and down that he did. So that happens. At one point he was trying to buy her a car, and the same situation happened. And then, wait, did the car thing happen before or after they officially got married? Do you remember, Tracy?
I think it happened before they officially got married, but talk about so in between them looking at houses, they find out she's with child. Tell them about
Hmm.
what happened when she was with child, because this is in
Oh.
between the car situation. This is in between looking for 25 houses, looking at 25 houses, telling her they got the house, her going out. shopping for furniture, shopping for appliances, watching him put down deposits on furniture at Lowe's and Ashley's and Home Depot so that they could get ready to move in, and her paying said storage fees for the stuff to be stored so that they have it and they can move in and be fresh.
Mm.
She
It's
miscarried.
embarrassing.
So I should throw that in here. Trigger warning, because outside of all of this, yes, there was a loss of life. She did miscarry and lose the baby. So at that point, also, she's in the hospital. And apparently he had told her at some point that he was up for promotion. He had to take like this meeting. So on the day that she was supposed to have surgery to handle the situation with the miscarriage. So it was supposed to be, she was supposed to be, I think, in and out of the hospital within like 2-3 hours. And
1 hour.
1 hour. He's nowhere to be found. Nurses are calling him, doctor is calling him. He is nowhere to be found. It keeps going to his phone with his assistant. And I still want to know who this guy is. Who's like, hey, let me know if there's anything I need to do, or I can have somebody come get her. Or she's like, no, I want my husband. And it took him like almost 3 or 4 hours to finally get there.
Goodness gracious.
Can I say something?
Yes. Yes.
I want to say, I think he was using a voice distorter
I
to
thought those things were
pretend.
illegal.
Just because it's illegal don't mean you can't have it. I have a lipstick knife. That's
Yeah.
illegal.
Supposed to
But
say
I still
that.
got one.
I lost my lipstick knife. I need a new one.
But I feel like because he was able to respond, here's the thing. I don't think there was anybody in his life that would cover for him like that.
Yeah.
And because he was able to respond so quickly to the doctors and the nurses and to her, I think he was using a voice distorter.
Oh man.
But that
That's
just
wild.
shows you how deep and methodical this person was.
Yeah. So he finally comes. And gets her.
Devious.
Oh yeah. Diabolical. So he finally comes and gets her. I can't remember what happened after this because there was that whole situation. Oh, the Facebook girl situation. So did that happen before or after the cars? Do you remember, Tracy?
The Facebook girl, that happened after the car situation.
Okay. So at some point after the car situation, he's always talking about, I ain't got nothing to hide, I ain't got nothing to lie. So she had his phone password. Something told her to go into the phone. So she goes into the phone and she sees him, and this is while they're married, she sees him talking to some other woman on Facebook. And, it's not just like, hey, how you doing? Business talk. You know what kind of talk this is. So there's pictures involved. And so, of course, she wakes him up like, what is this? And so now they're in marriage counseling they found a pastor and his wife. So now they're in marriage counseling. So, they're bringing up all the stuff. They brought up the car stuff. They brought up the house thing. They brought up the baby thing. And I think it was mostly surrounded around the house issue. And the pastor's wife is like, I don't think you guys are going to last a year. Had you came to us before you got married, we would have never advised y'all to get married. So, because at that point, they were back to the same loop that they were before with the house situation where Legion didn't want to give up his banking information before buying a house. And the other thing, too, there was another realtor where she was like, if you guys are going to work with me, we need to I need to see proof of funds first before I even let y'all see any houses. And he didn't want to do that. And he tried to do another way. And she was like, nah, if you're working with me, this is not going to happen. It's not going to work like this. And I think that's when Risa started realizing that a lot of what he's doing ain't copacetic. So she tried to ask him for it. And he showed her a bank account image.
Fake one.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, but he never showed her the quote unquote offshore account. But we're gonna get a little more into this after our break. Stay tuned. Find your red item, your red flag item. Get a drink, go to the potty, and we will be right back after these messages. Welcome back, everybody, here to Brown Sugar Confessions on Power 1017 and YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube page, our Facebook page, our Instagram, Doc Val's TikTok. We might be somewhere on the platform formerly known as Twitter. Nobody knows anymore, but if you see us, like us anyway. We are also on Spotify, so you can always hit us up on there. Just make a playlist of our episodes and just run through your house doing a mass cleaning and get some laughs and some knowledge on all things wild and kinky and whatever is happening in the wide world today. Let's get back into it. All right, so we took a short break. I hope you found your red thing to identify
Ooh.
all the red flags in this story that we're telling. I got my red pen, Tracy's got her red squeegee ball, KD has an actual red fan, which we're going to say is a red flag because this story is full of red flags. And I feel like I might have missed some things. So Tracy, you might have to remind me of the things that I did miss that I did not talk about in the first half.
Okay, so I'm gonna make this as quick as possible. Everybody, listen up. Clink, clink.
Clink, clink.
One. So it was 25 houses. They had one realtor taking them to 25 houses during COVID. Then, when they had the 25, when they saw the final house that they liked out of the 25, he was going to make an offer. She called the realtor and was just like, "What's going on? I haven't heard anything." The realtor, because she searched on Zillow to look at the house, and it was said it was under contract. And she's like, "What's going on?" He goes, "I didn't make an offer on it, so I don't know anything." She calls Legion. Legion says, "Yeah, I made an offer on it. It's been accepted. I went through my friend who is a realtor because I wanted to give him the money." Two, that's not even how any of this works. Do you know
That's
that there
not.
are issues?
I was about to say there's about 10 of them I could list because if you already have a realtor that's showing you, it's illegal. Well, not illegal, but it's definitely unethical and it's quite wrong for another realtor to then put an offer on your behalf.
And in some states,
There's an exclusivity contract usually that's made, even if it's verbal, between you and a realtor if they are to show you houses. And so if a actual realtor licensed one would absolutely never do that. Like they're not
yes.
if they didn't take you to the house, you can't just throw an offer in. So they're gonna ask you, okay, well I can go show you the house that we'll put an offer in. If he knows that this person had been shown by someone else, they wouldn't show you around because they know that that's conflict of interest and a few other things. So
Yeah. And in some states, you can actually get sued for going from one realtor to another without breaking your contract.
Really?
Correct.
That's another squeegee.
Oh.
There were, and this is in no way, shape, or form to put negative light on sex work or anything like that. That is the person's prerogative. If you are a customer, that is your prerogative. Always be safe, always be knowledgeable. That's all we're going to say about this. But in between the first set of 25 houses, her finding out that she was with child, her losing said child, then they decided we're not going to look at any more houses until the new year. They start looking at new houses, and she asked to see his bank statement. He shows her two different bank statements from two different banks that he has, but he has failed to show her the USA checking account and his offshore accounts. For anybody that has an offshore account, I really want to know, do you go around touting that you have an offshore account? Because I know people that have offshore accounts.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
They don't talk about it.
No.
Because That's illegal, right? But that's just me, squeegee, squeegee. She was just questioning a few things and just like what's going on. So she looks through his main phone, not his work phone, because she does not want to get into his work thing. He starts seeing all these messages from a sex worker number one, and it's about price and all of this, and I can't wait to get my hands on you. But there's also another woman in there that he is chatting up, and it's just like, I can't wait till COVID is over and I'm gonna break you off. And they have exchanged pictures. Bananas. In between all of that, they're looking at another set of houses, right? They're
Mm-hmm.
looking at another set of houses. They're going at, but this time he has upped it from going from a $500,000 house to a $760,000 house that he can officially pay cash for. Okay?
Mm. Keep that in
He can
mind.
pay cash. He can pay cash for all of these houses. So he tells the realtor, this is the house. He has her in an imaginative state. He's describing to her, like, can't you see yourself cooking in this kitchen? And this is be the baby's room and all of these things. And she, being the person living in this, going through this, she's imagining things. So she has got her hopes up. Well, guess what? She's like, I want to put a cash offer in. Well, the people accept his cash offer, and they're just like, we'll accept it as soon as you show us you have the funds in your bank.
Mm-hmm.
He says, no, you accept the offer without knowing. So they're going back and forth, and Legion gives them 2 days to decide. Before the 2 days is even up, they decide to go with the other offer because they have already shown. Well, Legion says, my uncle told me, who knows all of this because he's a financial man, whatever that is, tells me not to open the books. Guess what? Just remember that uncle. Just remember that uncle. Squeegee, squeegee. Then, fast forward, we've done the cars. He tells her, I am a VP at a condiment company here in Atlanta. Check out all these cars. They've only been together 6 months at this point. Understand that. 6 months. They're not married yet. Yes. So all of these things happen. They go look at a company car because he's a VP and he's allowed to spend $90,000 on a company car. So he takes her to go test drive the car. She originally wanted a Kia Sorento or something like that. I don't know. Kia, sponsor us. We said your name.
It was a Kia, and I was like, that's what you want to go for in this time and age in Atlanta?
But he said, no, let's go for what your dream car is because I want to spoil you. So he takes her to test drive her dream car and a Land Rover. So the first car was a BMW navy blue with a cognac interior and a Land Rover. He is on the phone. They're in the car dealership. He is on the phone talking to someone. Yes, I need to get the funds transferred. Here's where we're at. I need your transfer wire number. The sale dude runs off to get the transfer number, and it's just like, here you go, sir. Salesman is like,
right. That man just knew he was on the phone today.
He says, the transfer number is blah, 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 blah. Okay, so since it's closed today, can we send the money tomorrow? Yes, sir, you can send the money tomorrow. Great. I will have my people wire you the money. Looking forward to doing business with you. Hang up the phone. Walk out of the dealership. She's excited. Everything is in line. He tells her the following day, the car will be delivered in a week. Get ready. She's excited. It's her dream car. She's just had a loss. They've bid on another house and they've lost another house for some reason, but the car is coming through. Hooray! Day comes, car's supposed to be here. She's waiting at the house. Took a day off of work. The car didn't show up. Oh, the car got stuck in, I think he said it was Sherman or Sherman Oaks or something like that. Yeah. It's on the truck. Don't worry about it. It's coming. It's coming. The next time, nothing. Now, here's the part. After all of this has happened, here's the part where her family and supposedly his family are basically telling him, them both like, you're not going to live together this long. You're not going to have a supposed pregnancy. Not supposed, it was a real pregnancy, but you're not going to have a pregnancy. You're not going to be living in, and I'm going to say this, quote unquote, sin. Y'all need to get married. So it's during COVID time. They go fill out the marriage license. He takes her to the engagement store and he's like, pick out 3 rings and let me know which ring you like the most. So she goes in there, they're sizing rings. She's looking at it and she's like, I want this. This is exactly what I want. And he tells her, I'll give you the ring when I'm ready. After the baby, after the house, after the car, they're out to eat. She's sitting down. He takes the ring box out of his little pocket, slams it down on the table and goes, here you go. And literally flicks it to her. I don't know what happened. Flicks it to her. Okay. She opens it and goes, what is this? And he goes, it's your wedding ring. I guess you gonna be my wife. That's what he says to her. Not will you marry me? I guess you gonna be my wife.
Listen, I almost threw my phone when that part happened. I'm walking somewhere in the middle of the woods, and I almost threw my phone on the ground. I was like, you have got to be... Ooh, I was mad. All right, I'm sorry. Continue.
Okay, so fast forward. Now we're back at the part where they're getting married. They go to they're just doing like a little courthouse thing, right? So they go get their marriage license. She's looking at him, writing down his information. She already knows that, his social security. So she's remembering, right? So she knows, like, he's been married before. He didn't have kids with this woman, but she knows that the marriage ended horribly because she cheated, but he had kids. So he was paying her child support and helping her out and all of these things, right? He knows that she works for the sheriff's department. And he's always talking about how much respect he has for the police because his father was a policeman and his mother was a teacher. And then his father left the police department and opened a church. Bam, they get married. Every time this man calls her office, he's always like, oh, wow, it's another dude in your office. I just never know with you. Like, it's weird. Why are all these dudes around you? She works in the sheriff's department. What are you talking about? Stop it. Fast forward. Now they're looking at more houses. The first set of houses, second set of houses, car fell through, but they're married. They are looking through these houses. This realtor is very smart. I don't know who she was, but she was smart. Hey, props to you. They're looking at the house and she tells them, whoa. Before we even look at another house, look, I need proof. I need bank statements. I need all of these things. Like, you're not going to waste my time with this, right? But Legion decides to get uppity and like, how dare you want all these things from me? And she's just like, well, until you can give me that, I'm not moving forward another step and I won't show you another house. Thank you. A couple of days later, she calls Risa Tisa and is just like, I don't understand what the deal is, but there is something up, right? And she's just like, I don't understand either. They hang up, but she felt something weird in her with that. Like, what is going on? Fast forward. She goes to search through his phone, finds a woman in there. They're obviously flirting. So she tells him, let's go get marriage counseling. They go get marriage counseling. The pastor and his wife both are talking to them, but they can feel pushback coming from Legion. And they are both just like, I don't think this is going to work. Had you come to us before your marriage, we could have probably worked some things out. But right now, we're going to help you survive as best we can. But we would have never suggested you both get married. That's wild, because usually the church wants you to stay married.
Like,
I ain't going to say nothing about that. Fast forward. Like... Yeah, they weren't having any of that. Fast forward. Now we're coming to the end of the story. She just has so many questions that she decides, she quits the sheriff's department and gets another job because she wants to make more money because she doesn't want to depend on him for anything. He is helping to pay her car note and he is taking care of the house bills, but she takes care of her own stuff. So she was just like, I'm going to get another job. Well, when you fill out the application for the other job, you need to list your spouse, your children, your history, all of that, and you need to list their social security number. So she just goes in and says, hey, can you fill out this paperwork? And when it comes to the social security part, he's like, why you want me to fill that out? Blah, blah, blah. He's just real weird with it. He fills it out, but uses a different number than what was on the marriage license. And she's smart enough to know, which I think most of us understand, that the first three numbers in your social is for the state you were born in.
Mm-hmm.
And she realized that he told her that he was born in Georgia. Those aren't Georgia numbers. So they got to look it up and do something else. So she's just like, but I'm not seeing anything, so I don't know what's going on. Fast forward, she gets the new job, but she has to do a security clearance, which is a lie detector test. And the dude is like, tell me, do you know anybody that's a felon? And she's just like, I honestly don't know. I don't think he is, but I don't know. So she was very honest about it.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward again a little bit. She's just feeling another kind of way. So she decides to search his phone again. Guess what? Here comes where sex worker number 2 is, and where he's paying a lot of money, telling her, thank you for all your time. And it seems to like he divided his sexual needs and fetishes between who he was paying for and who was his wife. Because he treated her, like she said, almost virginally,
Mm-hmm.
where he treated the other one like they were doing stuff she didn't even know he was into. So fast forward, she's finally is just like, let me go to the records department and look up his divorce. She looks up his divorce. It lists the ex-wife. Guess what? They were never in San Diego or California. He was married in Atlanta, divorced in Atlanta. Then she decided to look at his obituary, like
For his
she
mom
knew
and
his
dad.
grandma, for his mom, dad, and grandma, because she said during COVID, all of them died. Guess what? She looks it up.
Hold on.
Yes.
Now y'all know me, right? Y'all know I'd have had
Uh,
all that looked up within the first week of meeting that person, right?
because I told you go to Katie for everything.
The first day,
It-
first time I meet you, I'm already know who your grandparents were, who your aunties were, what state you were born in, what country you were born in, what your size shoe was when you were in the 5th grade. You waited until now. I'm happy that she decided to finally nip it in the bud, but that should have been a early. Anyways, continue.
Okay.
That same
So,
thought.
so we're already squeeging over here. We're at 40 red flags. So she decides to call the ex-wife and just see what's going on. And the ex-wife starts the conversation with, I have never talked to this man. He ruined my life. That is how she starts the conversation with. And she tells her, it must have really got bad if you're calling me. He must really be in a bad situation. Then because at one point Legion told Risa Tisa that his ex-wife had a daughter and the daughter died, she asked the ex-wife, how's your daughter? And she's like, oh, my daughter is great. So he lied about her daughter dying. So she's just like, okay, thank you very much. She hangs up the phone. Then she decides to go, you know what? I'm going to see if he ever played football at San Diego State. She calls
Finally.
San Diego and is like, here's this man's name. Here's his social. Do you ever have anybody on this thing like this? And they were just like, no, there was no person here that went to this school at all during those times. Okay. So then she's sitting around and she's just like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I really can't do this. So she goes into the room where he's sitting. Meanwhile, he has some debilitating knee pain, but I think the knee, and he says it's a football injury, but he's also having problem eating. But this is what I'm going to tell you. If you are a liar and a pathological liar like that, you're always going to have stomach pain because ulcers. Anyway, fast forward because we're running out of time. Okay,
Yeah.
so fast forward. She goes to his room. She's sitting in there and she goes, "It's over. I need you to get out of my house." And he says, "I'm not going anywhere." And she says, "You're going to get out of my house or I'm going to beat you like the female dog that you are." I was
Yes.
like, "Woo!"
Well,
Look, that's the moment I was waiting for.
Mm.
So he decides to call his supposed aunt.
Mm-hmm.
The aunt is like, "Stay on the phone." Meanwhile, she's on the phone with her mother. And he's like, "I'm not leaving." Anyway, fast forward. He ends up leaving. He takes a bag of clothes but leaves everything else there. But in the
Mm-hmm.
room, there were bottles of Powerade that were filled with urine. Weird.
Because he
Fast
wasn't getting
forward.
up to go to the bathroom.
He wasn't getting up to go to the bathroom. Fast forward. He leaves. He goes to the aunt. He actually drives back home to, I think it was Philly, and is visiting with the family. The family, one of his cousins
Cousin.
calls. Risa Tisa asks her what's up. The cousin is just like, he's asking to stay with us, and he said that he caught you cheating with a police officer, and a police officer pulled his service weapon on him and was like, "Get out of the house," and beat him up and all this stuff. And he's trying to get us to file a complaint and possibly a lawsuit against this said police officer. And Risa Tisa is just like, "No, I kicked him out because he was a liar." The cousin goes on to tell him like, "Yeah, he's been a pathological liar for years. We don't deal with him." She goes, "I'm going to put you in contact with his brother." So Risa Tisa gets in
Brothers.
contact.
Remember, I think there was two.
He said Legion said he had 4 brothers and 2 sisters.
Mm-hmm.
So she puts him in contact with the older brother. They talk. We come to find out he doesn't have 4 brothers. He has 2 brothers. One is a twin. The twin is the younger, I think the younger twin,
Mm-hmm.
and the younger twin was actually a VP married with a company car. So he was basically trying to steal his life. The 2 sisters he had are non-existent. The aunt that he introduced Risa Tisa to is not his aunt. That is his mother's best friend from when she was alive. And the brother was like, nobody likes her. Nobody trusts her.
mm,
Then the aunt calls Risa Tisa and it's just like, he's saying that you guys don't live together. You want a divorce, and I'm hurrying, and he wants a divorce, and he caught you cheating. What's going on, and where's the baby? And she's like, "What baby?" And she goes, "He said you had a son." And she was like, "Ma'am, I lost the baby. There is no son."
Over a year ago.
A year ago. He has been lying. People have been waiting to send baby clothes to her. That's how bad he was lying. So she files immediately for a uncontested divorce. She tells him, "Meet me at the Kinko's. We're signing this paperwork." So she goes. He's in there. He looks horrible. He's sick as a dog.
He's
He
still wearing the
signs the
same
paper.
clothes that he left her house in.
Yes, still wearing the same clothes. This was 3 days later. He's still wearing the same clothes. They sign the paperwork, get it notarized. She's like, "I'm out, B." She's leaving. She walks past his car, and you can tell that he has been living in his car. And out of the kindness of her heart, this woman gave him $6 to get some chicken McNuggets.
better than me.
McDonald's sponsor us. We just said your name. So fast forward. They're getting the divorce. She's just coming to terms with everything that is going on. He says, "I'm coming back." Oh, he checks himself into a hospital for like a couple of weeks so he has a bed to lay in. He's in a mental facility. She hasn't heard from him. She tries to call all of his friends. None. I mean, 0 people want to deal with him because he is such a liar. Some people have said, "Don't ever contact me using his name again." Fast forward, he's in the mental facility. He gets out of the mental facility. Now he's calling her saying, "You can't
Yeah,
keep me out of."
because
Go ahead.
somebody told him that because they were married, he still had a right to be in the house.
Yes. So he decides, "I'm coming back to the house." She's like, "No, you're not." Anyway, she calls the police. The police tell her, "Ma'am, there's nothing we can do. You got to let him in." Blah, 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 blah. So this is back and forth while she's stressed out that he's going to get enough money to come back up here. Well, somebody gave him some money. But meanwhile, the police guy was like, hey, guess what? He's got an expired warrant. So as soon as he shows up there, you don't say nothing. You call the police. We're on it.
He's the MVP
He
right
comes,
there.
look, he comes back up. She calls the police. The police come out and arrest him. Now, the reason why he has this expired warrant is because he tried to perpetrate and pretend like he was the police, and he got sentenced to 60 days in jail, but he was doing weekend jail. It's crazy.
Anyway, do weekend jail until now.
Okay, so we're in the last little seconds. I have to hurry.
I think we may have to come back.
We're gonna have to do
we still got to talk about this, and you're gonna have to come back next week to get the rest of the story because we are out of time, y'all.
I'm sweating. Can you see me glistening from the sweat from me telling this story so fast?
I can only wave this thing so hard. I can only wave this pin so hard. We are going to finish the madness next week. Remember, grab your red thing to wave around. Stay safe. Play safe, and we will see you next time. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Brown Sugar Confessions on Power 1017. Go to our Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram page at Brown Sugar Confessions to like, share, and follow. Stay safe and play safe. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.